What's up, guys? Jason was a Gentile in the house. So, I'm waiting for my wife to finish up a dentist appointment. So, I've got I got another 30 minutes or so. She's very nervous about this dentist appointment, though she doesn't let on. So, she hasn't been to the dentist in 10 years. And so anyway, I'm hanging out, being supportive. But I wanted to tell you guys, I've just listened to the entire book of Hebrews all the way through. So there's like a little body of water near my house. So I got on my e-bike and I biked over to this little water, stood and sat. I sat right by the water underneath this tree in the shade. And I listened to the whole book of Hebrews. And if you haven't actually listened to Hebrews, or read Hebrews, you should check it out. There'll be a lot of stuff that you're like, what, huh? What are you talking about? And so there's two things that I just wanted to share that have really stuck out to me. One is that Jesus is considered a high priest. And so the high priest would be a mediator in the Jewish world. And so there would be like this tabernacle, right? And then the priest would go into one of the rooms once a year. I learned this from Hebrews. One of the rooms once a year, and would do a sacrifice for his own sins and then a sacrifice for the people. And so the priest would act as a mediator between the people and God. And there was a sacrifice as well to atone for sin. And so, all right, so there's that concept that's being kind of like opened up or shared in the book of Hebrews, which is in the New Testament. And then it points to Hebrews, which is the book of Hebrews is basically like it's like a preach. It's like a sermon. And so, imagine this person's just kind of like hitting this preaching this thing out, preaching out Hebrews. And so then the author, which I actually think is the Apostle Paul. If you listen to it, you tell me who you think it is. But I think it's Paul, because at the end of I think they call it an epistle. At the end of it, he says, he talks about Timothy. And I think Timothy was basically Paul's spiritual son. And so, anyway, and so there's this priest concept, the priest acting as a mediator. And so then Hebrews says that Jesus is the high priest, who now Jesus is the mediator between us and God. And as far as the sacrificing for the people, it was the sacrifice was himself, a final sacrifice. And then there's that blood, the blood of Jesus, nothing but the blood of Jesus. There's that whole concept of that, And so anyway, so that's just a little bit of kind of like a way to think about Jesus, is that Jesus is a high priest, and Jesus is the mediator between us and God. And he's praying for us, and he's interceding for us, and he's representing us, and he's got our back. And I just think that's really interesting. So if you've never heard of that, I just wanted to take an opportunity to kind of, it's sticking with me, it stuck with me, and I wanted to shoot a video while I'm waiting for my wife here. And I think it's interesting that I'm in a car, and I'm not normally where I normally am for a video. So I hope that this blesses you, and I hope it helps you to kind of understand Jesus' death on the cross a little more, and how it has a sacrificial nature, and also how it might relate to how a priest might go into the tabernacle and sacrifice for their own sins. But now Jesus was sinless, but to sacrifice for the sins of the people on behalf of the people, and stand as a mediator in between the people and God. So if you see him that way, that's a way to see him too. So anyway, I hope this blesses you, and we'll catch you on the next one.